To test which puppy could become a guide dog, a woman called all the puppies to run over. At this moment, all the puppies rushed over, except for this one puppy who stayed foolishly in place until finally slowly running over. It then raised its head, sat on the ground, and stared blankly at its owner. Unexpectedly, it was this silly puppy that was selected as the most qualified to be a guide dog, because it was calm and composed, not anxious, precisely the qualities a guide dog must possess. Just like that, the puppy left its first owner and arrived at the guide dog training center. However, the trainer was not in a hurry to train it, but instead founded a foster family. This is because guide dogs need to feel fully loved during their childhood in order to develop trust in humans for their future work. The puppy spent a very happy childhood there. It had its own little yard to play in every day, but 1 year passed very quickly. Although the puppy was not yet mature, it had received very good love from this family. Soon the puppy was ready to be sent away. The foster parents were sad to see it go, and as the car slowly drove away, the two could not help but chase after it, only stopping when they could no longer catch up. They knew the puppy had greater things to do. It was sent to the guide dog training center. However, on the first day, the puppy did not like the dog food there, so it kicked the bowl out in disdain. But no one here indulged it, so the puppy could only go hungry for a night. As a result, during training the next day, it was so hungry that it wanted to bite whatever it saw. The trainers who saw this were all very helpless, unanimously judging that it could not withstand the temptation of food. Moreover, in the subsequent obedience training, all the other puppies were very obedient, while only it lazily sat on the ground, refusing to move. Fortunately, the trainer did not give up on it because of this. He began encouraging education, stroking the birthmark on the puppy's belly, saying it was the most unique puppy he had ever seen. Just like that, under the trainer's slow guidance, the puppy also began to cooperate. After a few days of training, the trainer originally thought the puppy was just an ordinary dog, until one day when he had something to do temporarily and told the puppy to stay put. Unexpectedly, the puppy lay on the ground and waited for a long time. When the trainer had already begun training other dogs, he inadvertently saw it still waiting there. The trainer stared at the puppy in surprise. He did not expect that it was born with the essential qualities of a guide dog, able to overcome instinct and suppress desire. This is something that even humans find very difficult to do. What surprised him even more was that the puppy also had an exceptionally strong memory. In road training, whether it was steps or turning corners at intersections, it could easily remember them all. When the trainer kept saying various obstacles, the puppy even began to doze off. No matter how complex the environment, it could not stump him. Soon, the training center ushered in the guide dog test. As the starter pistol suddenly fired, the puppies began to panic. Those that ran away directly were overly sensitive to sound. Some dogs that kept barking wildly were too excited, while only this puppy calmly sat in place. Amazingly, it was the first to qualify to become a guide dog. Perhaps it was destiny's arrangement. On this day, they saw a blind man in the training room. The trainer hurriedly pulled the puppy and chased after him, wanting to let him try walking while holding a guide dog. But the man did not believe at all that a dog could lead the way, until the trainer assured him that for his usual 30-minute route, the guide dog only needed 10 minutes to reach the destination. Did the man gingerly take hold of the guide harness, ready to give it a try. But at first, their coordination was not smooth. When walking, the man's body was very stiff. At turns, he had to repeatedly confirm, not trusting the puppy's direction at all. When he reached a familiar section of the route, he again began to arrogantly go on his own. Suddenly, a truck sped by, scaring him badly. Although it was not very smooth, they still managed to reach the destination within 10 minutes. The man also gained a new understanding of guide dogs, so he wanted to keep the puppy by his side. However, applying for a guide dog still required completing rapport training. Not only practical training, but also learning theory. This stumped both the sleepy man and dog. Moreover, the man was a typical male chauvinist. When they reached an obstacle, the puppy had already stopped, but he insisted on crashing through. Then he even blamed the puppy for not alerting him. On downhill paths, the man also did not listen to instructions. The result, of course, was that he fell. After finally completing an obstacle course task, the trainer reminded him that he should praise the puppy at this time, but he still scolded the puppy. Unsurprisingly, on the day the training ended, all the blind people received their graduation certificates, while only the two of them sat alone in the corner. The puppy seemed to sense its owner's disappointment, so it wagged its tail and went up to try to comfort him. The man was very moved by this. From then on, he gradually began to trust the puppy. Not only did he earnestly complete the training during the day, but he also went out to practice secretly at night. Not long after, they finally completed the assessment. On the evening of departure, the man wanted to drink a can of beer to celebrate, but because he could not see, he mistakenly bought several bottles of juice. When he was about to put the last coin in, the puppy hurriedly alerted him by sneezing several times. So the man went to the third vending machine and finally bought a beer. From then on, the man and dog had complete rapport. Just like that, the man successfully graduated and returned home. The children all liked the puppy very much, but the wife did not like dogs. They had no choice but to set up a makeshift doghouse outside. But unexpectedly, on the first day of work, the man's old stubborn habits acted up again. He simply did not follow the puppy's guidance, causing the cars behind to be blocked for a whole road. But everyone had very high standards. Not a single person honked. After returning to the company, the man began saying how awesome his guide dog was. A blind colleague did not believe his words and secretly took the puppy out. When the man discovered this, he shouted, and the puppy ran back. On this day, the trainer learned about the man disrupting traffic. He told the man not to do this again in the future. Not only would he endanger himself, but the puppy would also suffer with him. Before leaving, he also warned that if there was a next time, he would take away the puppy's usage rights. The man also realized his mistake. After the trainer left, he dropped his posture and apologized to the puppy. That night, it suddenly started raining heavily. The son came to the doghouse, intending to hold an umbrella for the puppy to block the rain, but the puppy thought he was playing with it. The man soon heard and angrily opened the window to scold his son. Only after learning that his son came to hold an umbrella for the puppy did the man realize he had misunderstood him. But in order to maintain his fatherly dignity, he still sternly reprimanded his son again. The boy felt aggrieved. Before leaving, he scolded the puppy. The scolded puppy sadly ran away from home in the pouring rain, wandering along the path it had walked before. Until a few days later, the man received a phone call. The puppy was found in someone's home. He angrily told the puppy not to come back, then left without looking back. In fact, in his heart, he was very worried about the puppy, afraid that it really would not follow. Only after making sure the puppy had caught up did the man relax and pull it into his arms. Unknowingly, he could not be without the puppy. After returning, the man added a shed to the doghouse to shelter the puppy from the wind and rain. Just like that, they were happily together for 2 years. Until one day, the man suddenly felt unwell, so he got up and walked towards the bathroom. Although he did not call the puppy over, it immediately noticed the owner's abnormality from the corner. Sure enough, when it walked in, it saw its owner vomiting endlessly into the toilet. The puppy was so anxious that it kept circling around him. The man fell ill and was sent to the hospital. The puppy did not know what disease its owner had contracted. It could only silently accompany him. Because no one here could take care of the puppy, the trainer came to the hospital wanting to take it away. The son, not bearing to see his gravely ill father suffer the pain of separation again, quietly took the puppy away while he was asleep. But they did not know that after they left, the man slowly stretched out a hand. He gently waved, as if bidding farewell. The puppy, who had not gone far, seemed to sense it. It turned around and looked at its owner for a long time without leaving. 3 years passed, and the man still did not come to get the puppy. It also did not go to find a new owner and began serving as a demonstration dog. Until one day, it suddenly heard a familiar sound, the tapping of a cane on the ground. The puppy excitedly ran out. Sure enough, it was its owner who had returned. It wagged its tail and burrowed into the man's arms. The man and dog enjoyed this long-awaited reunion. But the man had not come to take it back. They came to the training field and walked 30 meters like when they first trained. Then he had the puppy stop. The man said that was enough. This was also the last stretch of road the puppy accompanied him on. It turned out the man knew he was about to die. He had come that day to bid farewell to the puppy. Not long after, the man passed away. The puppy also came to the memorial service. Looking at the body in the coffin, it did not know why its owner was sleeping there, why it was surrounded by white flowers, why the people who were just complaining about its owner suddenly silently shed tears. On the way back to the training center, when they were about to pass a step, the puppy still stopped in front of it. It reminded the trainer to pay attention to the step. The puppy was truly an excellent guide dog. In the blink of an eye, another 7 years passed. The 11-year-old puppy retired from the guide dog center and was sent back to its foster parents' home for retirement. It kept sniffing the smells of the home. Everything here was still so familiar, but it had grown old. The steps it used to be able to jump down from easily now required its foster father to carry it down. It had experienced a lifetime of rushing about and encountered only kind people. In the end, it could still spend its final years in the place it grew up. The puppy was undoubtedly fortunate. Until one day, while going up the steps, the puppy lost its footing and fell heavily to the ground. Its whole life was spent reminding people to pay attention to steps, but in the end, it collapsed in front of the steps itself. Just like that, it left us.